Hello and welcome to this best of three series between Samurai and Chosen on a Norscan Rise. Be sure to like and subscribe for more games and let's get into it. So, we have a return to his favorite faction, which is Demons of Chaos from Samurai, and then we have Norsca from Chosen, probably one of his main factions besides probably Walk. Uh, Again, super open map to what they're actually doing. So this is going to be a cool matchup to see, especially because probably the side of Chosen and the Russian scene. I don't know how much they have played into stuff like Demons of Chaos. So from the side of Chosen, we see again Caress the Darkling Prince, like we saw against Ponti in his game, I believe, against Dark Elves. This guy, great fighter, Acquiescence, Pavane of Slanesh, anti-large Giga Chad, and then Sunder Armor, Magical Attack, crazy stats. And other than this, we actually see an opening with Changeringers. This is, again, when you're playing stuff like Slanesh into, not Slanesh, Zinch into stuff like Norsca, you were previously very much afraid against the stuff like Changeringers, let's say. But with the advent of taking the Chimera now, it is kind of better for you in the air and easier for you to defend yourself. But man, this is such a cool tech though, because the Caress can probably duel the Chimera fairly easily, especially with stuff like Acquiescence and Pavane being there to support him. And then he also has a couple of Corn Furies and the Shrieking Skyrays, which are just an amazing unit, especially with their Lamprey's Bite, which is an explosion that deals huge damage. We also see a couple of Nurglings, a couple of Plague Bearers of Nurgle, and yeah, very much a rainbow army from the side of Samurai. Super cool. It seems like he wants to enable his Changebringers to actually carry the game, and then everything else is basically to defend them and support them, while he also gets the Plague Bearers to go for the huge grind, right? They're demonic, they have the Cloud of Flies, they're gonna have 41 melee defense. It's gonna be a good grind. On the side of Chosen, we actually see a couple of Horsemen, Riders of the Mighty Serpent, the classic. Then we see Dreadmaw. Dreadmaw is there to basically be a shutdown for stuff like blue and pink spam, because he was probably afraid of blue and pink spam, which is kind of a difficult thing to deal with as Norsca. We also see the Bloodstreak Chimera, classic, and then we just see 5 Bearmen, which is again a pretty standard thing. Where's the Lord though? Oh, Wulfric, Tree Wulfric right here, just chilling in the trees. He actually has Fight or Die too, which is interesting to see. And Sword of Torgald. Okay, this makes sense into stuff like Demons of Chaos. Why? Because everything is demonic, right? And everything that is demonic has 20% Fizz res. So he's just there for the grind. This is a usual playstyle if you have something that is a defensive army, right? If you have something that is a defensive army with just few things that can actually do damage at the start, you just go for the top objective, right? Because if the opponent overextends to all 3 objectives, they're going to be picked off. So this is a usual playstyle, especially on this sort of map. And we see these Changeringers basically going in around to chill. The Horsemen are probably going to be mirroring the Changebringers, because wherever they go, the Horsemen must go. These guys are super squishy with just 3.2k HP on 12 models. They insta-die, and we actually see another summon of the Changebringers. Oh, this is all in. And he definitely should be going like that. This is what I was talking about, the Lamprey's Bite, right? These guys just used one Lamprey's Bite, 30% or 25% off of a Bearman is crazy damage, right? Changebringers doing one volley into the riders. Get pavaned. Oh no, they're gonna be going back. Turn around. 14 seconds of charge. Oh, this is a good tech. He's moving the horsemen through the other horsemen so that they actually stop the models from charging back. Wow, that is very advanced microplay. And by the time that they actually, oh no, he is not using them though. No, they stopped the rampage, but they did not turn back. So even with that amazing microplay and tech, he did not end up actually saving the Riders of the Mighty Serpent there, which is quite unfortunate. On the other side, we still have the Changebringers gonna be absolutely roasty toasting these Bearmen. they actually swap into the Marauder Horsemen because they are the actual threat here, right? They're gonna have all the time in the world to play with the Bearmen if they just roasty toasty the only things that can basically shoot into the air, right? And oh, this is disgusting. 30%. This is the dream fantasy of everybody in the current meta, right? Seeing Bearmen take 40% HP damage from one volley of something is just a wet dream to all players that are that are playing or being annoyed against Norsca and stuff currently. He did also take the top objective from him with just a Nurgling, which is crazy, because the Changebringers are just such a menace that they are going to be able to cook. Though they are getting kind of surrounded here, and he might end up losing those Changebringers. We will be back to that. On the other side, we just have a couple of Fleshhounds come in and another Nurgling going in here. And yeah, the Changebringers kind of got caught, which is unfortunate. Damage sustained is minus 30, so they might end up dying, but it seems that they're fast enough with their 95 speed against the 85. They're not poisoned, so they might end up actually running away. He rampages the Marauder Ice Wolf Chariots. Great play, and then surrounds them with Fleshhounds. Fleshhounds also beat stuff like the Norscan Ice Wolves, but the Beasts of Tashnar might turn that around, but that was such a limp charge, and he realizes it and immediately goes away, especially with the Fury support and Lamprey's Bite support. This Marauder Ice Wolf Chariot is basically dead. Frolickers Bubonic capturing the objective, but just kind of strolling in through. Right, this worm is just chilling, doing nothing. He could unburrow here and then just start poking, but the Changebringers didn't end up actually going and leaving the scene and surviving, especially with 9 out of 12 models. They're gonna be able to do a bunch more cooking. Again here, Changebringers going into stuff like Bearmen, not the most cost-effective thing, but they just about paid for themselves too, so whenever that happens, they can just be unsummoned and then resummoned a bit later. So this is a beautiful masterclass of how to properly play and dismantle Doc as Zinch. Oh, I mean as Demons of Chaos, right? Fleshhounds being charged by Norscan Ice Wolves. They still, again, are probably even on the charge going to turn around and kill these guys. So that is not a problem. We see now a double cap, Marauder Bearman going up and actually capping. Very nice breath from the Chimera, but now it's going to get poked by the Shrieking Skyrays. Could probably beat them, but Caress is coming in, and if he actually goes into the Chimera, it's going to cook it. And you see, like, this is probably like 1 or 2 volleys from the Changebringers too, right? They're now at 1.5, oh no, 50, 5,000, 5,000, Jesus Christ. I don't know numbers today. 500 value. So, still keeping away. This is going to be a long game, right? Because the value difference is going to make up for the quality of fighting between the opponents. Even though Chosen kind of seems to be a bit ahead here, I wouldn't say he's properly ahead because that's some damage just gone into the Changebringers, which are still alive. Caress battling the worm, which is very nice to see. And yeah, these Changebringers just cooking this entire squad to the side here. And after the Beasts of Tashnar are dead, these Furies can just turn in and fight. Oh, these are Marauder champions. Oh no, never mind. The Furies probably should book it or backcharge them to try and break them. Over here, very nice backcharge from, again, the Furies, taking on with the Frolickers Bubonic, the Norscan Ice Wolves. They got no smoke to give. And Chimera just healed from the Perfect Predator thing. On the top side, we actually see Pleasure Seekers. Oh my god, what a perfect army from the side of Samurai, man. He's playing it so well. So Boob Snakes coming in and absolutely wrecking the Marauder Bearmen, and then just leaving a freaking Nurgling on the top of the map to be able to capture that objective is chef's kiss. He also has now the triple cap after this, and he still has both of his Changebringers, I believe, right? Or at least one of them. The other one probably got unsummoned, and now he's just bringing in the heavy hitters, right? Like, Plague Bearers going into Marauders is going to be fine, but look at this. He just cooks the Ice Wolf Chariots. He knows what the main problem is. The main problem are the big carry pieces that are super annoying, and now Pleasure Seekers coming in, the Terminator squad. Look at this damage. How If they stay in combat for like 6 seconds, look at this, insta dead on the Norscan Ice Wolf Chariot, and just about dead on stuff like the Bearman. These units are absolutely cracked, man. I don't know what CA was cooking when what CA was smoking when they created Pleasure Seekers, but they definitely are the most cracked unit currently on the roster. Also, if these Plague Bearers saturate in and give some damage to the Boob Snakes so that they don't take every single hit, that is gonna be like lights out for everything in this entire part. Very nice fighting from Caress. Caress is the perfect counter for Doc Man into the Chimera, man. Because of his such a huge bonus versus large, he's not gonna have a problem hitting the Chimera, and even with its healing ability, it's just not gonna be enough. Again, on top here, these guys will end up losing to, of course, Nurglings will end up losing, but if he just moves the Pleasure Seekers to the top, he's just going to have a perfect time doing the anti-grind with just a shock cab unit that absolutely wrecks everything, right? He should be afraid of the breath, though. Oh, he even pops up a vein to be able to capture the Bloodshriek Chimera. Very nice play. As long as it doesn't land, which it probably will, it will just randomly attack something. Yeah, okay, nice. So Caress and the Shrieking Skyrays will be the end of that Chimera. Instant rout on the freaking Ice Wolves. So unfortunate. Backcharge from Furies. Attack from the Fleshhounds. Absolutely demolished by the Fiends. Fiends are also one of those units that are just absolutely insane on the Slaanesh and Doc rosters. And here we go. Pleasure Seekers are in. They're gonna terminate these Bearmen first, and then gonna turn around and absolutely kill the Marauder Berserkers. They do have very high base melee attack value and pretty good weapon strength, so it might be like pretty close, but again, I think these guys with like 52 melee defense will be totally fine into this fight. And we see the Changebringers coming in for round 2, just about paying for themselves, being unsummoned, and then coming in again. Frolickers Bubonic can probably take on these Marauder Berserkers fairly easily. We see again more back charges from the Fleshhounds of Khorne. Fleshhounds of Khorne, super good unit, very high charge bonus, very high melee strength, and we actually see another Narcissism being cast on a Wolfric and being there for a snipe. These Norscan Ice Wolves, however cute they are going to absolutely just get murdered by the Fiends of Slaanesh. Though the Skin Wolves might turn it around, but they're gonna try and potentially peel for Wolfric. Oh no, there come the Changebringers instantly going into the Norscan Ice Wolves and cooking both their leadership. Look at this, damage by artillery, damage sustained, friends routing, exposed flank, charged in the back probably, and so on and so on. Man, quite unfortunate. And look at the damage. Just absolute crazy charges, especially with the back charge from the Norscan, from the Fleshhounds of Khorne. It's gonna be an instant death. And what a masterclass of playing Demons of Chaos, man. I very much enjoyed these rainbow style armies from stuff like Samurai. This is super cool to see, especially considering it's such a different meta than let's say what the Western style of playing Doc is. Western style of playing Doc is usually just SE focused, so you go for a bunch of like the RORs and SEs, and then you just run around the battlefield doing relatively the similar thing what he did here, but he just did it with Changebringers so effectively. Look at this, 1900, 1700 on the Changebringers plus unsummon value, and then Boob Snakes doing 2k, basically paying for themselves, and then just a bit more. Fiends, absolutely insane. Man, with so many units that are so strong on the Doc roster, your only limitation is your imagination and your reinforcement money. Because you want to take all of these units to their literally unit caps. Also, Caress being such a good anti-fighter for the Chimera, it just absolutely kept it in check, and the only value that it basically got was from its breaths, right? Same for the Worm. Worm just had no targets in this army, which again, very prudent to bring the Worm. Very unfortunate that it's still bugged so that you can't bring it in reinforcements and actually unburrow it properly, because he was technically afraid of a blue and pink horde spam. That's why he also went for the normal Bearmen, right? And yeah, totally fine on the Riders of the Mighty Serpent. Wolfric basically did not much. in this game, and there was a Death Sorcerer. Why did he not summon it? He could have summoned potentially Death Sorcerer and then did the Bunas. Very weird that he did not even summon the Sorcerer in the entire game. Huh. That is quite weird from the side of Chosen. Yeah, Berserkers getting cooked, Champions getting absolutely cooked, and that's pretty much it. Now that I think of it, I don't remember a single casted spell in this game from the side of Chosen. Definitely could have used that, especially with the banking up. So, congratulations to Samurai for moving to the semifinals. See you in the next series.